Now it's your turn to solve an equation that will have non-real solutions. If you have not yet solved the equation x squared plus 4x plus 5 equals 0 on your own, please complete this in your lecture note packet, and then return to the video to check your work. To solve the equation x squared plus 4x plus 5 equals 0, we could try factoring. We would ask ourselves what multiplies to make 5 and adds to make 4. The fact is there is no pair of real numbers that will do this. So since we cannot solve this by factoring, we'll resort to the quadratic formula. The standard phrasing of the quadratic formula is that x equals the opposite of b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Applying that to our particular equation, x will equal the opposite of 4 plus or minus the square root of 4 squared minus 4 times 1 times 5 all over 2 times 1. To simplify this, we first need to clean up underneath the radical and multiply in the denominator. So underneath the radical, 4 squared will be 16, and negative 4 times 1 times 5 will be negative 20. So we'll have 16 minus 20 under the radical. In the denominator, 2 times 1 is 2. The next step in simplifying will be to subtract 16 minus 20. 16 minus 20 will be negative 4. So we'll be left with negative 4 plus or minus the square root of negative 4 over 2. To simplify this further, we need to simplify the radical. To simplify the radical square root of negative 4, we need to separate the negative from the 4. So we will rewrite that as the square root of negative 1 times the square root of 4. Again, bringing it back up top for a little bit more space, we will simplify the square root of negative 1 to become I, and the square root of 4 will simplify to 2 as normal. So our x-coordinates will now be negative 4 plus or minus 2i all over 2. And the final step of simplification will be to divide both the negative 4 and the 2i by the 2 in the denominator. So our x values, our solutions, become negative 2 plus or minus I. Now that we have solved the equation, we will finish off with the solution set notation, and so the solution set will be the set negative 2 plus I, comma negative 2 minus I. It is also very common to leave it in the condensed form of the solution set being negative 2 plus or minus I, and that second notation is fine as long as you do recognize in that set there are two different values.